Hello, everyone. Welcome today to episode 71 of Celebrity Customer Experience Riffs with me, Jill Raff, where we riff on anything and everything from employee experience to customer experience. I want to thank you all so much for investing your time here with me, for spending these next approximately 20, 30 minutes with me to explore employee experience, customer experience, and understand why they're so intrinsically entwined. In fact, they're inseparable. I appreciate that time is one of our most, if not the most, treasured and valued resources that we have. So, I appreciate your time because I know ultimately time is one of those things that's limited, right? We can never get it back. So I appreciate you and your time and encourage you to maximize this time together by being involved, by engaging with me, by asking questions, writing your comments, your thoughts. Leave them in the comment section and I will see them and then we can have the conversation that way. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much. And feel free to do the same. Just tag me in your response and I'll reply and we'll continue the conversation that way if you're not able to watch it live. So, if you've seen me before, you know that I believe strongly that you can increase your business revenue due to engaging your committed and loyal customers and employees. And so that's why today's topic is going to be something that might be a little controversial to some, but I believe that our customer journey will not work for your business. Now, everyone's always talking about the customer journey mapping, all of that. So, this is why I'm going to tackle that head on. As someone who grew up in the franchise business, my parents and grandparents opened McDonald's number 150 back in 1959. And I literally grew up in that business. So I totally understand the unique challenges that face you. So I thought I would share some of the ideas and much of what you're hearing about this customer journey and why I feel that it won't work for your business if that's your only approach. Now, um, let's face it, customer experience, we hear a lot of these um, conversations and talk about how we make the customer feel better. And all these things seem so commonsensical. So there's not likely going to be much that maybe you know, you'll feel like, oh my gosh, like I've never thought of that before. But they're going to be great reminders and hopefully thought-provoking ideas to think about how do we go back and reassess those things in our business? How do I look at our problem potentially from another angle, right? Like, how do we have a different perspective? And I think my perspective is a little different from the most common ones where we talk about the customer journey all the time. It's going to be something very important to think about because, we talk about your customers and how they feel and how we, as the owners or the executive leadership of a company, how are they feeling about things? And the truth of the matter is, there is a huge disconnect. Bain and Company did a study and they found that 80% of of executives in a business, of owners, entrepreneurs, felt like they were delivering a superior customer experience. 80% of them felt like they're delivering a superior customer experience. Now, the difference is only 8% of the customers agreed. So while many of us think, oh, I've heard that before, and of course that's common sense. I know these things, and I think that that's what we're putting into our business to make sure that our customer has that great experience. What you find from that study is, in fact, what we may believe and perceive is reality, in fact, may not be and is likely not at all. So, we're going to jump into that right now and just really thinking about the journey, right? First of all, when we talk about a journey, most journeys have a destination, they have endpoints. It's not a continuum. And I see it as a continuum, as an endless cycle. And you'll see, I'll mention later on how my proprietary process is, in fact, that continuum. So let's think about it this way. When we go on vacation, our destination is our endpoint. That's our journey, our vacation. So when we're going, say, to Legoland near San Diego, we would fly into San Diego. We wouldn't keep going on to Hawaii, for example. So why should our business have closure and an endpoint with our customers or even our internal customers, our employees? And they don't. And so that's exactly why my inside out framework is a cycle. It's a continuum, starting with the core values, vision, and mission of a company, and transitioning into that value aligned hiring, which of course includes internal referrals. Now, according to the Harvard Business Review, 80% of employees said that their turnover was due to bad hiring decisions. 80% of employee turnover is due to bad hiring decisions. And I think that's because they're hiring people who are not aligned with their business values, with their vision, their mission, the culture that ultimately is created. And that is something and I talk about all the time with my clients and why they come to me. They're like, Jill, we really need to work on our retention and building our company culture. And in fact, if we work on creating that company culture first, then the retention will take care of itself. So in the inside out framework, which is that continuum I was talking about, we have the clarification of our values, those of the company that you're with, the organization that you're with, and then of course aligned hiring. And then your onboarding is crucial. And it's not just, you'll hear me say over and over, it's not just training your people on those skills, it's the education. When we are educated on something, it is something that becomes a foundation, a core learning of what we have, what's involved in our business, what's involved in the expectations and responsibilities of what we have to do. It's not just the skills and the tasks. So we think about that onboarding includes which would be the engagement. So my E3 formula, education is the first E of that. So it's educate. Then we engage with our people. We engage with them how we want them to engage with our end customers. And then we're building up all of this education and support and engagement and value repetition through our actions, not just telling someone, not talking at them, but really listening to our people and bringing them in to the decision making, into the idea generation, right? That is the engagement. And once you've done all this, then you entrust your people. You show them that you value them, that you're not going to micromanage them, that you believe them, and you want to give them opportunities to show them that they can shine for you. So that's just a little synopsis of the E3 formula piece of that framework. And then, of course, because it is a continuum, we have to always have the ongoing education. And that's education about things relative specifically to your business, as well as investing in your people as people. Today, you must look at your people and figure out, how do we speak to them in a way that's important to them? How do we show them that we're interested in what they're interested in? And how do we blend and bridge those two together with the work that they're doing for your organization? Because when you bring out the best in someone and you tap in to their interests, they are then going to be idea generation machines, cranking out what they're passionate and excited about and how it applies to your business. These are all things that happen when you focus on and invest in your people and continue that ongoing education. And then, of course, it comes around to the backside of that cycle, where your employees now have delivered outstanding and amazing experience to your customers. And so without a doubt that they then will have generated external referrals, and the cycle goes on and on if done successfully, if done properly. And so the cool thing that I love about this, uh, the journey that I'm talking about, which is a cycle, or a continuum, is that you're starting at the top with internal referrals. So when I talked about aligned hiring, let's face it, we hire people, right, according to our company values. Don't do anything other than that. Doesn't matter. It will bite you if you just feel like you need to have someone filling in the gap. If they're not aligned with your company values and your culture, they will do harm for your business and you'll be just racing to do catch up. So at the top of the cycle, if you are hiring people who are aligned with your values and you've gone through the processes that I just quickly outlined for you, now you know that these are people who are going to be your advocates. So, one of the things that I say that I do is turn employees into advocates and customer magnets. They will draw people into your business because they will give them such amazing experiences. They will talk about how great it is to work for you, that you are the employer of choice, that you are the go-to employer. That is going to bring in referrals. That's going to bring in more business. That's going to bring more people into your business when you're worrying about attraction of the right qualified people for your business. Not just that they're qualified, but that they're qualified for your particular brand and brand promise, because they are ultimately the ones who represent you, right? So, and the other ways with hiring is once you have those great solid rocks, those people that you know are great, let's face it, the old expression, birds of a feather flock together. Well, the truth is, like-minded people tend to hang out together, and they will have family, friends, acquaintances, whoever they in their vibration, their energy is attracting because of what they are. They're going to have similar friends who they could then say, you know what, this is amazing. This is a great place to work. Why don't you apply here? So you're going to be bringing in more people and aggregating that great energy and the kind of people that is appropriate for your business. It goes on from there, right? Like, so it's lowering your cost for recruiting and all the other steps that follow. So that wasn't the point of this particular talk, so I won't go too deep into that. But I think that you'll see that when your people see and they really feel that you, the business owner, the management, executive leadership, when they are appreciate and they invest there and excuse me, when they see and feel that you as those leaders invest in them, in their knowledge, in their skills, and who they are as a people, with that education and the ongoing training, making them stronger employees and stronger people, then that is when you're going to see your retention go up and your employee turnover dropping. I'm going to just take 1 second here. I see we have a comment, and let's see who's joining us today. Adele, hi, dear. So great to see you. Everything you say is pure gold, Jill. Thank you so much. Well, you are a beautiful example of someone who has always done this as a leader in hospitality. And I just so enjoy listening to you and having the conversation. Adele was my guest here a while back. So I encourage everyone to go back and listen to that particular episode as well. Thanks, Adele, for joining. And please continue to engage. It's great to have you here. So, as I was saying, when you show your people that you care and you invest in them and you're involved and really see the importance of continuing to educate and grow them as people and as employees, this is when it will be evident that you are creating a culture that acknowledges and appreciates your customer's choice and your employees' choice for doing business with you. You and the employees and the external customers. You are the end customers ultimately when they realize this is what I want. This is what I come back to. This is why I buy from you. And from the employee side, this is why I'm working here. This is why I'm referring people to come work here as well. It's just It amazes me. So I was on interviewed yesterday for a podcast called Making Waves at Sea Level by Tom Singer. It'll be out next week, so I encourage you to look for that. But one of the questions he asked me is, Jill, we know this to be true, right? Like I said at the top of the hour, like we know these things to be true. We know these are things that need to be done. So why are they not being done? It seems like common sense. And I said, yes, what seems like common sense is not necessarily common practice, unfortunately. And so I really believe that there's been a huge paradigm shift going on right now across all organizations, across businesses, across industries, and I think we need to address that. I think it's really, really important to look at what's going on and recognize it is, in fact, our people that make or break our business. It's our people who we owe the success to. I think the pandemic has shown us that without our people, we have no business. You can have an amazing product or service, but if you don't have amazing people there who are all cohesive because you've given them all of those steps that I just outlined, then at the end of the day, chaos will be felt internally, friction, and that of course, gets passed on to your customer. So, when I spoke to, I also speak to organizations about this, company meetings, conventions, um, their team meetings, it could be any sort of organizations, kickoff, whatever. This is something that clearly you can see I'm super passionate about. And when I spoke to McDonald's, to their owner operators, their corporate leaders, vendors, and suppliers, one of the things I talked about is the employee journey and employee journey mapping and how we feel that that's really important, not just the customer journey mapping and the idea of this journey being an endless cycle. It's not a beginning and end point. It's an ongoing loop, and it's not just a procedure to get to the end point. And I think that's really important as we look at our business, that we think, oh, if I could only get to this point, then I'll be set. Or if I could only have this, have made this much money, then I'll be set. No, it's a continuum. We have to always be growing. And to grow, we need to have that growth mindset throughout the company, and it starts at the top. It starts from the inside out. I believe that we need to have this growth mindset, this organizational communication, how we speak to each other, how we speak to our customers, really define that clearly. That is something that's needed for this to be a continuum, for the companies and organizations to continue to grow and scale and keep that experience consistent across their brand and their brand promise. The coolest thing is, just before we jumped on here, I got a text message from a client, and she sent me a screenshot of some of the things that they're doing in their company, that they're automating for their onboarding process and for their education and training, of different positions and what they're doing. And as I first read the first screenshot, I was like, that's exactly what I say should be done. And then she sent a little text after saying, can you see that I've been influenced by someone who's helped me out in this, with a winking emoji? And I love that she's actually implementing the work that we did together, suggestions and ideas as we talked through her problems, as she took, in this case, she took my course. It was a hybrid course. So we had the coursework that she did on her own, which was videos and worksheets and additional content, action guides. And then we had coaching. She opted in for the full coaching part of that as well. And it was really rewarding for me to hear feedback along the way of how many nuggets they got from it and things that they were going to implement. But especially now, today, before the show, to get this screenshot and see that this work is actually being applied and helpful for them. So super exciting for that. So I just want to encourage everyone to have that growth mindset, to continue with that curiosity, that never ending learning, the better communication with your people, the support for one another, the advancement for growth within your company. It is really crucial for this nonstop journey to happen for the employer side, to make sure that you let your people know that there's opportunity for growth, not only as you invest in their growth as a part of their ongoing education, but let them know from the very beginning that there is growth opportunity for them within the company. Everyone wants to work towards something. No one wants to be a cog in the wheel. They don't want to be, just a paycheck. Yes, I shouldn't say that. No one. There are people who are fine with that, and that's fine. But those are not likely the people that you see as those who are going to help build your business. And so you want to be on board and in sync with those people who really show that that is what they want. Give them that opportunity. Ask them what they want. Sit down, have a way to strategically and consistently ask for their feedback, their input. What is it that they want? What is their goal in your business? And don't let them leave. This great resignation that's happening, you can stop it by simply showing them that they don't have to leave. There is room for growth. And when you bring in those people who are the big idea generators, who are active and involved, who want responsibility, give them that responsibility. Trust them. Don't micromanage after you, of course, have done those first steps that we talked about. If any of this resonates with you, please let me know. Share, comment, reach out to me directly. I will. Here is how you can find me. Put that up on the screen. There we go. My website is my name, jillraff.com. And reach out directly as well, jill@jillraff.com. I would love to speak with you about your employee journey and journey mapping. And how do we look at what's been done traditionally around just the customer experience and instead kind of back into that by first looking at the most important journey that you have in your business, the most important assets that you have in your company, and that is the people who you have brought on to represent you and your brand. So I thank you today for joining me. I hope this has been helpful and just stirred up some thoughts, some questions. I can't answer all the problems right away. And in this limited time, I don't even know what all your problems are. But I am certainly open to a conversation with you specifically about what's going on for you and your business. I know it's a very challenging time, and I've had some really interesting conversations with a lot of business owners and clients about what's going on. So I would love to share my knowledge across multiple industries. I've worked across various industries, worked across 3 continents, multiple countries. So I really understand and I'm able to look at each person's unique problems with kind of a unique perspective and a multidimensional approach because I'm looking at it cross industries and across countries and what different people are doing and how we can take something from one lane of an industry and apply it to another. There's no reason to say this is what we've always done. Let's look at new innovative ideas. And that's what lights me up, is working with companies to come up with new innovative ideas for their business, for their industry, and try something that maybe has been done in another industry, but not theirs. So I could keep going, but I'll save it. There's so much to say. And I really welcome you to reach out to me directly, jill@jillraff.com. Check out my website. Actually, in the next couple of days, I'm really excited. We're going to be going live with an updated website. So check back next week as well for that website, because you will see a much more highly focused website that I think will be helpful for you to see all the possibilities. And next week, come back. I'm super excited to have Sarah Dandashi in the hospitality world. She goes by Ask the Concierge on Instagram in particular and LinkedIn. An amazing, amazing human being, first of all. And all the things that she's doing are so phenomenal and just a great example of all the principles that I talk about and live by. So I welcome you to join us again next Thursday, 12 o'clock. And until then, have a great rest of your day.